Right. So, the bulk of this game is done. And going forwards, um, but yeah, going forwards, we don't really have anything um, like the big old level with all the doors and levers, um, from earlier. I can't remember what the level's called. What the hell's the level called? Hang on, I've got this. I had the thing up, but yeah, going forwards, we don't really have anything quite like that. Um, Otherwise, the rest of this game is very. I don't want to say by the numbers. That's. I think that's underdoing it, but it's we're back to platforming and combat predominantly, rather than trying to solve anything um too over the top. A lot of it is just about exploring. Um, what the hell is the level called? Oh, the Palace Midas. That's yeah, that level. Yeah, we don't get anything like that again, unfortunately. And yet here we are. Wow, what a what a beautiful little world we're in. Okay, so, haha. Nope, come on. You need to go over there. So we got two sets of levels left. Two sets of three levels to be more precise. We've got the Egypt levels and the Atlantis levels. Now the Egypt levels are sorry, my persistent cough is getting in my way today. It's quite fun. Um, yeah, the Egypt levels are a bit more all rounder when it comes to the contents. Um, there's something behind this block, isn't there? There definitely is. I seem to remember there being something there anyway. But yeah, we have pretty much the whole point of the Egypt level is that we're making our way deep underground in until we get into um a big old pyramid of sorts. Um, Actually, I don't think it. I think it's a tome. I think it's a tomb. Um, because the pyramid doesn't come until we go to Atlantis. But the idea is we're working our way there, which means that um, the Egypt levels are significantly more about navigation than the previous ones. That doesn't mean that everything's maze-like. That just means that we have to be a little bit more aware of our surroundings in general. Um, you sort of see what I mean with this level, because I quite like this level. I do and I don't. We're reaching Tomb Raider lore territory here, which I can talk a little bit about now because I haven't talked too much about the narrative of this game, but it's quite thin. I don't know if you've realised that, and we're not like we're past the halfway point. We're quite the ways past the halfway point. Egypt and Atlantis, they don't take up much time for the game. Um, they're bulky levels, don't get me wrong, but in their bulk, um, yeah, within their bulk, is a lot of the same stuff. We're reaching safe territory now, which I have something controversial to say about that in a bit, but um, I'll just talk about the story for the time being. So the main idea behind the main idea narrative wise is that Laura gets picked up by Natla. Um, Natla appeals to Laura's sense of sportsmanship, if you will. The idea that hey, you want to go out there into the world, don't you? You wanna have a look at all this really cool shit. Well, guess what? We found some cool shit. Why don't you go out there and find some cool shit for me? You don't have to keep it. You can just, we just want you to go out and see it. Um, so she finds this. They call it the Scion in Anniversary. I always pronounce Scion, but maybe it was just a mispronunciation in that game, or I don't know. Ah, our first mummy. Right, let's climb. And thank God that this fucking thing can't climb as well. Um, sorry, I'll talk about the mummy for a second now. These become regular enemies from this point forward. They are not good. I do not like these little fuckers. Um, the little wild bastards that meant to dish out more damage, but the issue is that they have the same AI pathing as every other fucker in this game. So they will charge at you, do a hit, and then run away for like 50 minutes, and then they'll come back again and then do it all over again. Which just completely erases the intimidation factor. It's all good though. Right, okay. So yeah, narrative. Cool. Thumbs up? Yeah? Awesome. So, the whole shebang to do with, like what's happening here, the Atlanteans and all that sort of stuff. It's paper thin. It's really, really paper thin. You know that. You've seen this. This game hasn't been going on for that long, and we have been getting. I think that we might have breached like 2 minutes worth of cutscenes, 2 maybe 3 minutes worth of cutscenes, which you can say that like, oh, the narrative isn't only told through cutscenes, and I absolutely agree with you, and I think that that is this game's greatest strength and greatest weakness all at once. The idea being that as we are going from tomb to tomb, as we are exploring these vast areas, we are learning more and more about the Egyptians themselves, not the Egyptians, sorry, the Atlanteans themselves. So we are learning more about the fact that their culture um, spans quite a myriad of other cultures. Supposedly the origin point of a lot of these cultures. We are learning about, they're doing something. They're being a little sneaky. At least someone is, and you can pinpoint who exactly that sneaky person is. There was an Atlantean that was quite pissy in the cut in the only flashback that we've gotten so far, and there's only one character we have to point to, which is why I didn't feel bad about saying that Natla is the one who's causing all this, because there is no one else. I know that you could very easily just say like, oh no, there's still time. There isn't. We have like one cutscene per major area in this game. I didn't mean to jump that far. Yeah, we've got one cutscene per major area in this game. There's nothing else to be said, and Natla's plot is okay. It's not bad. I'll say that. It's just thin, which is, that's the theme of this whole thing. Because you're really here for the tomb raiding experience. You're here to play as Lara Croft running around a big old tomb. That's it. That's why we're here. And it somewhat succeeds at that. It's a Tomb Raider that, like this first game, is a really weird sort of beast of a title, because the gameplay wise, it's tight. It's very, very tight. Even in the worst levels, or even in my least favorite levels, predominantly the cistern and the tomb of Teokan, there's still some good stuff in there. And I don't even think they're terrible levels. I just think that they, like, in contrast to everything else that has been made in this game, they're just so jarring. They're like your experimental levels in this game. They were tried once and then they thought, you know what, let's not talk about this. Let's not do something like that again. And that's fine. You're allowed to have those levels. Um, it weakens your game overall, absolutely, if you screw up. But you know what? Here we are. And I don't even think it was screwed up that badly. Right, I'm trying to remember how to proceed. The issue is, with this level in particular, there's lots of like little gubbins about the place that we can pick up and not really do anything with. We can't go through that door until the next level, and our task is really to get into there. That door doesn't open up. So um I should just point this out. Um our actual goal here is to get through this door, which we do not have a key for. But that's our first major step, which is why I am a little confused as to where the key is. It's one of the reasons why I decided to do some talking here, because I do tend to get stumped at this bit. I mean, we've got everything we need right in front of us, that's the thing. So the key is somewhere here. The block does nothing now. That should be pointed out as well. Is it really just that gap there? Is that what... Oh, hello. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Even that looks better than just ye old water texture. Ah, it's up there, it's up there. Okay, we're good, we're good. Sorry. Small blip. We're back on target now. Everything's good again. Oh, come on, you can... Really? Really? I have to push the block back. Fine. But yeah, I don't think the narrative of this game is terrible. By the end of it, you do get a full picture of events. Right, if you want to know why this is complicated, watch this. The back of the model lines up, the face is slightly different. And this happens more egregiously later on. You're going to see a big old example of Aspire just going ape shit with one of the models. Oh, especially in Atlantis, by the way. Holy shit, when we get to Atlantis. There are some really weird creative decisions made by Aspire there. Not to say that core designs didn't do something fucking weird in Atlantis as well, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I don't think the narrative of Tomb Raider is bad. It's just it's non-existent is the issue. It's one of those unfortunate things where it's like you bothered to have cutscenes and have a narrative throughout. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Let's go up here because I think there's a mummy down here, or at least a leopard, or a panther or something vaguely cat-like. But yeah, you bother to have a narrative, which means that it can be critiqued, which means I can say that it's good or bad based off the information given to me, and the information given to me in regards to the plot of this game is it's not great. It's not bad. Once again, I really do want to point that out. Um, the issue with the narrative is just like there's a beginning, middle, and end, which is the lowest bar possible. Is it consistent throughout? Yes, it is. Um, but that doesn't mean a lot. Consistency is key, right? As long as all the facts line up from beginning to end, um, characters act the way they should throughout the entire thing. There's not going to be a lot of problems with your narrative. World building has to line up as well, um, but yeah, it's kind of baffling how this game keeps getting referenced and gone back to. I mean, we've got Legacy of Atlantis coming out, which is a remake of this game. I've talked about that before already, but not just we don't just have that, but we also have the Anniversary remake. Now, here's the thing about the Anniversary remake versus Legacy of Atlantis. The Anniversary remake was trying to make this title relevant to the Legend trilogy, which is fine. You're allowed to do that. It's all good. It's you know, you can rewrite it. It successfully incorporated a version of Lara Croft that was born from that game with was placed within the narrative of this title. There are some issues that come with that, obviously, because if the plot plays out the same, then we're obviously having the conversation of would that Lara do the same things as this Lara? And the answer is not exactly, but they account for that in a lot of ways. The issue is, would Survivor Lara do a lot of things that this Lara is doing? And the answer is no. Survivor Lara and this Lara are not the same Lara, which is why the aligned timeline thing that they're doing is beyond baffling to me. I do not, and I don't think I ever will understand the incessant. Well, other than like a business decision, I don't think I'll quite understand the incessant need to tie everything in together. Because, once again, for those who don't know, the Aligned Timeline is combining the events of the original 6 games, the Legend trilogy, and the Survivor trilogy under one single timeline. And you might just be sitting there right now thinking to yourself, "Oh, that's bad." And yeah, you're right. That's a really bad decision. You should not be doing that. Because the specifics of that shit have not been referred to yet. Does this mean that a version of all of those games happened? Maybe. Or did every single event that you've played through in these games actually happen then? Maybe. Ah, no. Oh, sorry about that. Right. But yeah, it is amusing the idea that a load of different franchises are sort of obsessed with making everything tie in together, because you're right, you don't need that. You don't do that. Stop. Get some help. But yeah, especially with Tomb Raider of all things, because the first six entries are episodic to an extent, but the reports are that's Catalyst, which is the next major entry in the series, not the remake, but the one after, will be a continuation of Tomb Raider Underworld, which now means that Tomb Raider Underworld happened last in the timeline. And if you're really confused as to why that, if you're confused as to why that's confusing, it's because the Lara Croft Tomb Raider games, the Tomb Raider Legend titles, it's meant to be a different interpretation of the character. So how can you have a different interpretation of the character next to the character? Like, this, it does not track, is what I'm trying to say. It's very jarring. There's a lever here that I didn't see before. That's why I was going in the right direction, just not doing the right thing. That's all fine. But yeah, it's quite amusing to me because oh, I just why does it have to be so complicated? As Avril Lavigne once said. Um, I genuinely just don't understand. Like, why can't they just say that, like, oh, the next... Did I kill it? No way I did. Oh, it's gone down there, hasn't it? Here it comes. Yeah, because 1 through 6 are pretty much episodic. The only games that have, like, the narrative continuation of any major kind is the last 3. Because you've got The Last Revelation followed by Chronicles and then Angel of Darkness. And the idea was that those 3 games were, you know, they're leading one after the other. That's sort of the point. How do I want to go about this? Okay, so there's a big old death mummy in there, so we are going to push the block over here. Are we? But yeah, if you play Tomb Raider 1 through 3, you can play them in any order. There's no big like narrative through line or anything like that. The idea is that Lara's meant to be a simple character. She's not meant to have a lot of depth to her. That doesn't mean that you can't add depth to her, obviously. That's absolutely, you know, you can do that. The issue is that once you start adding depth to a character like Lara Croft, you retroactively create problems. We have to start going back in the timeline and we have to start assessing, okay, would this new iteration of Lara, because they are not the same character anymore, do the following things? And Legend's answer was very, very simple in that regard. Legend answered if Lara Croft would do the exact same things as the original, Legend's Lara Croft would do the same things as original Lara Croft, and the answer was to an extent, but that doesn't mean that she's going to enjoy it. Like, she's a quippy badass in Anniversary, but she's not a end-all be-all, like... You know, she has a moral compass, and they keep referring to it in Anniversary. They keep referring to the idea of like, oh god, the end of the world might happen, or oh god, my guide died here, stuff like that, and it adds up. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. They made an entire game to account for what that Lara would do under these circumstances, and they didn't have to do that. But as like a little what-if game, Anniversary works incredibly well. It works well for Underworld as well, for that matter. because one of the benefits of a game like Anniversary is that it never pretends like it's overwriting the original Tomb Raider. It's because it's not. It's adjacent to. It's once again, it's a different interpretation of. It's the remake. How can I describe this? It's one of the few categories of remake that I'm semi fine with, which is instead of remaking a game because they think that the original was bad, which happens a lot more than people think. A lot of people take really good media and then they remake it because they think they can do it better or because they think it's bad. Happens all the goddamn time. Um, instead of taking that route, Anniversary was crafted as a sort of what if scenario to align with the anniversary of the first Tomb Raider title. So you had a different Lara Croft going through the same events and reacting to them as that Lara Croft would. And yeah, regardless of whether or not that title worked. Ooh, holy moly. Uh, my my father's in another room at the moment, and he's testing out a device that's meant to make a very loud sound intentionally. And for those of you who are in the know in the UK, oh god, okay, fine. Oh, that's when did I last save? Oh god, it was a bit ago, wasn't it? I didn't. Oh my god. What the fuck? I don't feel like I got cocky. Did I just not save? Oh, we can speedrun this. I know exactly what I'm doing and where I'm going now. There are no issues here. Anyway, yeah, for those of you who live in the UK and remember like when all the alarms went off, the test like the emergency alarms on your phone. I thought it was that. Having a momentary crisis. Should I be contacting my loved ones? What's happening? Anyway, yeah, to continue talking about the Align timeline and all that jazz. So yeah, that Anniversary managed to do the whole recreate the original title. Well, because it also did it in a way where, like, because of the events of Legend and because of who Lara Croft was, and because of the gameplay style of Legend, um, they already had themselves in a scenario where Anniversary was going to be quite different to this game. We're following the same events, but the gameplay-wise, it is not the same beast. It is something very different. God, I kind of want to play Legend. Like, yeah, I'm definitely settled on the idea of I'm going to cover this and then I'm covering Anniversary. Um, Once again, just so that way when Legacy of Atlantis comes out, I can just jump straight into that and not really care about the titles in between. Cover them another day. Because I would like to do that. The Last Revelation is a title that I remember practically nothing about. Um, I say that there's a very good chance that the Last Revelation is because Last Revelation and Chronicles both have like a flashback Tara. Ooh, nope. um, she is not a Tomb Raider. A flashback Lara Croft sequence. But I think Chronicles might have it at the end. I think that might be the difference. I think The Last Revelation has it at the start because that game deals with Lara's mentor. I remember bits about those games. I'm not completely inept. I have played video games before. It'd be interesting to replay Angel of Darkness. Something that I found was quite amusing is looking at um, the reviews for Tomb Raider 4 through 6, the remaster of those games. Um, because Spy did like the best thing that they they chose the decent to safe option with remastering those titles, which is um, the core experience is untouched. You know, they fixed only the major bugs in those titles, but other than that, the games play as they were intended, which was extremely rushed. You know, Angel of Darkness was the black sheep of the series once upon a time, and it is amusing to see people review the remastered collection um, negatively because the games that are within that collection are The Last Revelation, Chronicles, and The Angel of Darkness, and they all sound like fucking metal albums. I'd listen to the shit out of them though. But yeah, the it's a really weird one because on the one hand, it's like, I mean, I don't hold Aspire accountable to gameplay and level decisions made within this title. I only hold them accountable to the changes that they've made, which is a really complicated thing to review because in order to review the changes coherently, you have to have some prior knowledge of what this game used to be like. Um, and if you have not played the original game, then for a lot of people starting off playing Tomb Raider for the first time, going through this game, um, they might just assume that it was always like this because it's hard to get that initial image out of your head of a title like this. Which, you know what, it's you can review the game then, but put a big ol' asterisk on it because you're reviewing the game in its current state. It's a bit like reviewing a mod, you know. That um, I talked a bit about this earlier on, but if I was to go a bit further into detail, I would probably mention TR1X, because if I was going to point to a definitive version of this game prior to this, I'd probably say that. And you know what? I might even be encouraged to say it now. TR1X is an engine overhaul of the original Tomb Raider. It runs at 60 FPS, and it's, from as far as I'm aware, it's the inspiration for this game, for this remaster. So I would say that, like, if you have Tomb Raider 1 already and you want to give it a go with like update controls, widescreen, 60 FPS that works with the animations at hand because they've completely redone everything. Uh, draw distance, being massively improved. The original skyboxes from the concept art, and the original version of the game put back in, so it doesn't interfere with the lighting, but you still get skyboxes. Yeah, it did. TR1X has done a lot. The team behind that game are insane, and you know what? I'm glad that Aspire have said to some extent that that is the inspiration for this. The issue is that why didn't they go all the way with it? You know, it's very jarring whenever anyone says, "Ah, yes, this really great piece of media is my inspiration," and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. That's your inspiration. That's awesome." Um, hey, now that you've mentioned it, I think I just want to watch that. I think I just want to consume that piece of media instead of this, because at least I'm guaranteed a good time when watching or playing that. Um, which of course, you know, there is the level of the unknown when it comes to that sort of stuff. Do you there um do you there um risk consuming bad media because it's new, and it's the same the other way around. There, you know, toxic negativity and toxic positivity. There's also just being hesitant because of like a bad track record. You're absolutely allowed to do that. You're allowed to have expectations, but the issue with comparing your remaster to a mod that overhauls the engine completely, and fixes all of the major bugs, and has the game run like in the most optimal way that the game could ever run, with native controller support, widescreen. This sounds like an advertisement. It's not. It's just me gushing. That fucking that goddamn mod is a miracle. And honestly, after playing like Tomb Raider by itself for so many years, and then going into that mod, it's like day and night. It's actually insane. It's really hard to go back to the original after that. But of course, that's been one of the things that has stayed my hand, as it were. You know, that prevented me from talking anymore about doing a video on the original Tomb Raider, because if I was going to do a video on the original Tomb Raider, I'd probably talk about the PS1 versions, or if I was going to talk about the PC versions, I'd probably have to finagle the weird controller support that it has, which isn't native, but or I would just have to use PC controllers, to be honest, which I'm fine with. I've done that rodeo before. The thing is, of course, that my preference of title, I would probably mention TR1X within that video anyway. But the issue, of course, is the fact that I wouldn't want to go back to the original. I mean, wouldn't want to is a strong word. I might want you to appreciate TR1X a bit more, but playing the original Tomb Raider it's a really hard ask when you've got something like that that's just on the internet ready to go. I remember when this remaster first came out, and I did talk a little bit about some of the changes made. I've talked about them quite a bit in this video already, but what am I doing? There we go. But one of the one of the big benefits of getting this is the same reason why you would buy something like a Switch 2 over any other PC handheld, or you know, anything like that. Is the fact that when you get a Switch 2, when you get Tomb Raider remastered, it works out of the box. You know, it's not the best in its field, absolutely not. There is a clear superior title there, but if you don't want to faff about with all the intricate stuff, and you just want to play it as it is, then here you go. And it's one of the reasons why, despite there being that was kind of awesome. Woohoo! Despite there being like a title that's clearly or at least an iteration that's clearly superior, I would still say that this is the definitive way to play it. And a lot of that is just it's just down to quality and accessibility together. It's one of those rare examples of, you know what, accessibility in this sense of the word. Yeah, I'm down with it. I understand why this would be the preferred way to play this game. Whereas if we were talking about, like, I don't know. Okay, yep, that's happening. You know what? I am just gonna use my pistols in spite of this guy. This... Oh boy. Hmm. But yeah, oh, and yeah, push that there and then cool. Okay. Um, but yeah, once again, it's accessibility right out of the box. It's cheap. It works. It gets the job done. You know, and quality wise, is it that much different? Is it that much different from TR1X? And the answer is not entirely. You know, I would still like to play with the original graphics in 60 FPS. That's always going to be the big drawback. And no matter how I feel about the modern controls here, um, I'm I'm less annoyed with this game having modern controls than I am with the stigma surrounding them. But the stigma surrounding tank controls, that is. But oh crap, that's fine. That's when we save. That's why we save. Um, I knew I was having a lucky streak. That's kind of insane. But yeah, I mean, I haven't looked into like if there's engine overhauls for any other Tomb Raider titles. I know that there's TR2X. I don't know if that's finished. I don't know to what extent that exists. Like how well it runs or anything like that. But something to check out someday. But there we go. But for titles like Angel of Darkness and stuff like that, it would be fascinating to see if there was anything there, because Angel of Darkness is one of those things where there are games out there that people are just like, oh yeah, this game needs a remaster. It needs a remaster so that way we can play it in its original form. And then you start talking about, okay, how would you fix a game like Angel of Darkness? Like, what bug fixes would you do? And then you start talking about the mechanics and going like, oh, yeah, we could fix the mechanics of the game by doing this, that, and this, and then essentially you drive yourself into a corner because um I hear you. Are you yeah, are you just gonna, you know what? You're a slow boy. I can deal with you. Oh, you're a speedy boy. But yeah, if you start talking about like how can we how can we improve a game like Angel of Darkness, um, the answer will always be you can't. Um, it's not it, it's not necessarily that it's a lost cause. It's more to do with the fact that the game by itself, there are so many problems that it's just more reasonable to start from scratch. Um, that just is the case with so many games out there at the moment. A lot of people um, try to fix titles left, right, and center by going, ah, yes, we could fix this game, um, and then as they start talking about how they could fix the game, they eventually describe a completely different game. That's happened loads of times. That more times than people give themselves credit for, which is amusing because if anyone backs down on the idea of like, no, 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 it wouldn't take that much effort. All they would have to do is all of this, and then you basically just have to tell them at that point, you have a better creative mind than the people who made this game, or the people who made these titles. You need to give yourself credit for that. You need to allow that to be like. You need to be fine with understanding that if someone like you can think of a solution to something like that within that amount of time, um, then that's the issue. Ah, right. Wait, do I just have my regular pistols out? Good. Okay, cool. We're gonna shoot 6 panthers now. This is gonna be really entertaining for everyone involved because we have to go down there at one point, and killing these guys and then releasing the next set of levers will unleash 4 more panthers. And yes, I'm using the pistols instead of the magnums because ammo. There's definitely like a really good example out there. I think maybe Dead Space 3 is probably one of those examples where there are people that think that like the concept of Dead Space 3 is really good, but the game is really bad, and you know they would be half right. There's 2 more. Okay, it's not levers, it's just positioning. Cool, whatever. Oh no, they're all out now. But yeah, the solution to something like Dead Space 3 is just to redo it from the get-go. That's pretty much it. The solution to some of the worst games ever made is not to remaster them, because then they could be like, oh, it's going to be good this time. That's not how that works. You have to scrap it. You have to do it all from the ground up. And you know what? If your intention was always to make a different game, just do a different IP. You know, have the balls to do something new. I think that's largely been Tomb Raider's issue over the years as as having like a brand identity crisis. You're sort of trapped in this weird limbo where you've got 4 or 5 different developers and like developing teams that are like, I know exactly how this franchise should be, and it's like you should all just talk to each other. You should all get in one room and agree on one idea, and then from that point forwards, you're golden. Because honestly, you go from like even the Legend trilogy, and then you've got like the Lara Croft games that came after it, and that's always been amusing to me. The idea of like, hey guys, look, it's the same Lara Croft from the game you all like. It's like, were you just nervous that no one was going to play your game unless you referred to a very specific iteration of Lara Croft that was like successful at the time? Because you didn't have to do that. You could have made the Lara Croft games separate from the Tomb Raider games and just went, yep, there's no association. It's just we wanted to do something a little bit different, and that's what it is. So enjoy. It's at that point when you're just like, okay, cool, fair enough. I know exactly where. Oh God, I know exactly where everyone stands with this title. That's fine. I mean that was the case for Tomb Raider for the longest time as well, though. To be fair, um, every entry you weren't expected to look at like the one preceding it and be like, oh, I bet you there's going to be some narrative relevance here. I mean, even with the Legend trilogy, there's an arc but I wouldn't say that you needed to play Legend and Anniversary to play Underworld, and vice versa. They're very unique beasts. I say that, I don't know, would I recommend playing Tomb Raider? I probably would recommend playing Tomb Raider, like the remake, the reboot rather. I would probably recommend playing that version of the game before playing Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Um, just because, like, I don't even know if like Triad is a fully integrated thing in the first Tomb Raider game. Like the main antagonist of the prequel series. I feel like I'm going a little bit crazy here. Oh, this is where I just came from. Okay, cool. I was going in circles. Yeah, I never really considered like Tomb Raider that Lara Croft doesn't have a rival. You know, she doesn't have like one big overarching villain over the course of the entire series. Um, Even with the games that were sort of like narratively linked. Um, okay. Yeah, even with the titles that were like narratively linked, um, it was never in the sense of like you had any obligation or requirement to understand anything that happened before. I forgot where to go from here. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think we're meant to head back over here. I think I've taken a wrong turn. Is that? That shotgun shells. Wait, how many do I have actually? Yeah, we'll get them. Ah, okay. Do I have to jump around? Okay. Fine. Oh, that counted as a secret. Sure, why not? It is a... It is a weird one because there's nothing wrong with like narratively linking things together. If you wanted to make some callbacks here and there, you can do that. That's not an issue. The issue is just like the lack of there being a coherent reason as to why you're doing that. Because there just isn't one. I feel like I've missed a switch. Oh. Oh, I just couldn't see it because the lighting was terrible. That's awesome. Right, we move on. But yeah, there's like there's an implication there somewhere that Legacy of Atlantis is going to be a title that will be tied in with Catalyst, or Catalyst will be a title that will be tied in with Legacy of Atlantis, because if if the whole thing surrounding Legacy of Atlantis was like, ah, yeah, we wanted to get people back up to scratch with like where Lara Croft was last with the series. Um, do Underworld. Like, out of all of them, why remake the first game again? I also, apparently, once again, they're channeling the Legend trilogy for the future of the series. Um, unless Aspyr are planning on remastering that shit, which would be great, please do that. But if they're not, and you really like, you were mandated, like, before you make the next before you make the next Tomb Raider game, you absolutely have to remake. Um, you absolutely have to remake one Tomb Raider game, and you say that the game that your next entry will be relevant to, or at least the one that it's going to be coming off the back of, is Underworld. Um, at that point, just remake Underworld. I'm not saying I'm not saying the words remake Underworld. I'm not saying that that's what they should do. But if they had to remake any of them, I don't understand why. I don't understand why the first Tomb Raider game was the one that they went for, other than money. That's pretty much it. Because this game has been, it's kind of insane, right? Because this game came out. This game was a thing. It exists. Hello, everyone. Woohoo! Um, it came out. It had the big fan base. People still play the original to this day. Big old thumbs up. Woohoo! Hey. Um, and then it did get a remake with Anniversary. It was an appropriate remake. It still got a remake. That's all good. Um, and that's a remake that is semi-accessible. You can play it on PC. It's not demanding whatsoever. Um, and then even after all of that, Crystal Dynamics commissions Aspyr to remaster the first 6 classic Tomb Raider games, the classic series of Tomb Raider, and then the first thing they decide to do after that is remake Tomb Raider 1. Like, you've officially made Tomb Raider accessible to every modern system. Congratulations. And last gen as well. Like, I'm pretty sure that you can get these games on PS4 and Xbox One still. Um, and regardless of all of that, they were like, ah, but people aren't gonna play that game. Like, was that the mindset? Was the mindset that people weren't gonna go back and play the first Tomb Raider game? From oh, I overshot it. That's fine. Yeah, was the mindset that people weren't going to go back and replay out of all of the Tomb Raider games they could play, the first Tomb Raider title? I don't even think it's a scenario where it's like, you can have a sea of people. Right, let's be careful about this. You have a sea of people, um, who are saying that this is a bad game or anything like that. I think like the worst criticism that you'll get from the general public with the way that the general public acts is that it's dated. But you're dealing with like illiterate people for the most part. So there's not a risk, you know. You're gonna get more praise than you are anything else because this is essentially just the original game again. And it begins. Right. Let's get out of here away from the crocodile. Ah, there is one in here. Is there not? Is there not a croc? Well, I'm going to get all the gubbins then. We're doing really well on resources. I felt like that I went through a lot of health packs the last time I played this game. Ah, there he is. Yeah, I think it says a lot that when Aspire in big old thick quotation marks with 7 asterisks um, modernized the controls of this game. That could have very easily been the end of it. I have my complaints for sure. I don't think it's the worst thing in existence. It's comfortable. It's one of the better iterations of this, but it's I I think that they were in the right to just take the tank controls and just throw them back out there. You know, force people to actually play the game the way it was developed. Um, and once again, that's not a slight. I understand perfectly why they've done this, and guess what? It worked. Huzzah! But even with all that being said, like, doesn't it mean a lot for me to be playing this game, have that complaint, still be playing with these controls over the ones that I would, like, I might feel uncomfortable for a little bit, but in the long run, I would probably praise the shit out of way more because of how the level design incorporates the original controls and all that jazz. But doesn't it mean a lot to have all of that in there and be like, yeah, this is still a great game. Like, the game is here. It's whole. It's good. Um, it's not been like massively affected by anything. Jesus, I have to remember. Oh, okay, it's over here. I was going to say I have to remember where I came from. Um, oh my goodness, that was over there. What is this madness? Where are we? What's all of this? This, my friends, is the future. It's what we're doing next. Um, we have to traverse up this pillar. There are things to grab, as you know, as you'd expect. Right, what? I'm making myself dizzy. Where's the starting point? Uh, I know I want to go over to the right side there, but look at that as well, by the way. That's another example of like, why did you screw with the lighting? Why did they screw the lighting in the water? Look at that, that's gorgeous. Okay. And there's nothing on that side, is there? Right. Cool. Let's rock and roll. probably have to do a standing jump here. I don't. I could just get in the water. I'm just gonna do that. Whee! Okay. Is there not a little thing I can jump on? There is! Quick! No, 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 don't die. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You missy. Oh, trapped in a wall. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Alright. It's Crystal Dynamics. I mean, it's IDOS, isn't it? That's the thing as well. IDOS are a weird bunch. Um, but Crystal Dynamics, the current people who are in charge of developing said games, they're not in charge of the IP overall, of course, but they are the current head developers of Le Tomb Raider. Oh God, let's not do that. That's a place for another time. We all good? What's going on? But yeah, they were in charge of like developing new Tomb Raider games and all that jazz. And you know what? That's good. That's great shit. Well done to you. You made 3 games that I have some issues with, but other than that, they were successful financially. And they boosted their success by once again commissioning Aspire to make the remasters. And it's like, okay, cool, free money. You did it. Like people are like they have a mad amount of respect for you right now because um you not only said that you're redoing up the character for fan specifications, which is what the hell? No, when did I last save? I held down walk. This has happened too many times in this game. This has happened way too many times. I was here. Okay, we're good. We're good. I can recover from this. That's fine. Um, I do just blank out sometimes when I have saved last. Like, even though it'll just be like seconds ago. But yes, anyway. They were like, they were given free money, and their response was to be like, okay, let's risk all of that. You know, let's remake the first game because obviously that's the next step to making sure that people still like us is by potentially ruining the reputation, our own reputation by misunderstanding the first game entirely. Because why would Kim in? Why are you really? Ugh. How much? Fuck it, it's time. Come here, bucko. We're gonna get so much magnum ammo throughout this entire thing anyway, so it's yeah. Right, pull the switch. Grab that. There we go. I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna do a thing. Okay, that leads to there. Okay, we're gonna jump on the pillar. I'm gonna get the pickup, and then we're gonna move on with our lives. Because as long as I see that's there, I have a problem. Oh, there's this here too. Is this more magnum ammo? I think it is. Oh my goodness gracious me. More, please. How? How? Oh, it probably just wants me to do a jump from here to there, doesn't it? There we go. Okay, let's throw down a quick save, just to be sure. Woo! Okay, so that's one bridge down. This is a really bad idea! I mean, I said it. Okay. Is the optimal thing to jump in the water? Because I don't want to do that. I'm going to save again. I'm going to save in a different slot because I am unconvinced that this was the right thing to do at all. Yep, okay. Ooh. I assume it just wants me to jump in the water below. Oh, that jump looks so possible, that's the only thing. And the other room is probably just... I know what the other room is. We need to go in there at some point. Oh, fine. Whee! Get out of there. You're making a mess of yourself. Lara Croft. We need to make our way back up to the bridge. There's got to be an optimal way to do it other than just... like... I suppose it won't take that long just to do a whole ring again, but... it just means going all the way back up here. You'll do it. There is definitely a better way of doing this. I can't recall a way of doing it other than this. Oh, there were two in there. Oh, okay. I mean that's technically the next room. Oh, that's an idea actually. Do I just want to do this? I mean, there are 4 bridges that we need to lower, and the idea is that once those bridges are lowered, we can go in there and we can get pieces of a puzzle. This was a really bad idea. Okay. Hang on. Stop. Can you climb? That'd be great. Oh. That's one. The explosion can hurt you, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Oh, I should be dead by this point. Come on, let's just do it. There we go. Yep, see. Okay. Why did we... why did I need to come down here? I remember... Oh, was it just the kill? Was that it? I think that might be it. Okay. We've got a number of switches in this place which will turn... which will turn slopes into staircases. And I think that just might be one of the rooms with that in it. I don't think there's anything of importance in there, though. That's just a... There are certain areas in this game that are just designed to go into in order to fill up a kill count, because it counts as a statistic on the collectible screen. Oh boy. I know I said that Greece was going to be the long one, but I might have been a bit confused with that information. Right, let's do another quick save here. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say about the puzzles in the latter half of this game, because they're all like this. You know, you traverse a big area, and you pull a bunch of levers to open a door somewhere. That's normally the way it goes. Which isn't bad. Far from it. I don't think any puzzle ever comes close to the one in the Midas Palace, but it doesn't exactly have to, if that makes sense. Yeah, we have to take the slope down. Yeah, it doesn't have to, which is all fine and dandy. Look at all the goodies. Right. Show yourself, boyo, because I know you're around here. There you are. But I think the thing that ties all of this together is that it's logical, right? From beginning to end, everything that you're doing within this level, there is a reason for it, and it's not incomprehensible that this stuff is happening, I guess. Like, outside of, like, the mummy shit, but you understand to an extent, like... If you were to replace them with just, like, goons with bats or something like that, like Tomb Raider 2 does, you'd understand to an extent that, like, okay, I got you. I understand that, like, if this was just a purely puzzle-based game without any of the encounters, it's giving you something to do, but not in the egregious way. It's not screaming at you. You know, you're playing through it and you're like, okay, I gotcha. this is a level. You've made this because without this there would be no game. Um, and I am having to use my brain. Oh my god. That's fine. Oh. Yeah, without this, my brain would be well and truly switched off. And it's not like fodder to keep your brain, like, barely active, like a white noise. Um, I've died a number of times here because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing properly. That's all on me. That's fine. Apart from the walk and the walking thing, I have my grievances there. But, you get the shizzle, you know? And there isn't really a difficulty curve with this game to an extent. It's normally just more, which I think is probably this game's biggest weakness, is the fact that um, puzzle-wise and level-wise, the game doesn't really expand in terms of getting the player to do other things. It's more just you're doing more of the same, but there's like more things trying to kill you. They're slightly more, and they're slightly tougher. Their health bars are bigger. Um, and even with like the crazier monsters, there's a logic behind, like, there's a logic behind gameplay wise. The idea that we have these mummies that are slightly tougher than usual folk, and when you shoot them, they explode. So it's encouraging you to take care of them and navigate away from them at the same time. It's gosh darn good, is what it is. Um, okay, I can't do that yet. Cool. I remember all this stuff, right? That that is criminal. I was gonna say it probably stands out better in the original, but not by much. Okay, does that lower another bridge? Oh no, it changes the staircase in the other room. We'll return to that at some point because that'll be like one big shebang. That's why we cleared the room out below. I'm pretty gosh darn sure. Could be wrong about that. This looks similar. I don't think this is the same room though. Okay, we're gonna do the egregious stuff first for the secret because I'm forcing myself to do that. I just have to remember which way around it is. Um, okay, it's up above because you can't make that jump from down there. Ta-da! If you're thinking that the amount of Magnum ammo that we have at the moment is insane, you'd be correct. Does this not count as a secret? It was, it was no harder than the other one to get. Okay, cool. What would be the best way to go? I know the end goal. I know what I need to do in this room. I'm just thinking about where all the other gubbins are. That was a choice. Let me just remind myself what's in here. Oh, it just leads back around. Okay, I gotcha. This is the walking route. The route for the walkings. Um. Did I really take everything out down there? Because I'm a bit nervous now. I thought there was mummies or panthers or something like that. Because if this was the same room as before, I kind of feel like that I would have noticed. It's been a moment. Let's just ensure that we don't have to do any of that again. I don't know if there's a reason to touch the floor in this place. I mean, there could be. I could be completely wrong. But after seeing that, I don't think I am. There's going to be a switch in here, isn't there? Yes, and that's going to lower another bridge. So is that 2 out of 4? I can't quite see. That's 1. Yeah, it's 2 out of 4. So we've just got 2 more to do, and we're the majority of the way towards one of them at the moment. So that's pretty cool. Okay, awesome. Do I need to? I need to make my way back up now, don't I? What would be the way to do that? Right, if I save again, because there might be some level shenanigans here if I step off this. Ah! Well, you can do that if you want to. So about those enemies, turns out they were there. Did it do the thing? I did, okay. I was just making sure I saved correctamundally. Right. Shimmy! Shimmy like your life depends on it. Is this the 3rd or the 2nd level of Egypt? I wonder. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, but this is the 2nd. That's fine. I just yeah, I was just wondering because I was trying to think of like what's the next one, and I remember the next one is like you're climbing around the giant sphinx essentially. Which is funny because you start this out and you go to like the city of Kamoon and it's like look at this sphinx just sitting here and you're gonna go in that sphinx at some point, and then you go into the sphinx and it's like yeah, and look at what's under here. All this is under here, isn't that great? And the game later on just goes, you call that a sphinx? I was embarrassed to be known with you until this point, but that's even worse. Holy shit. I don't remember the next level taking too long, to be fair. A lot of it is to do with traversing around the cliff face of the Sphinx. Okay, let's grab this. Yeah, I understand what the cutscene is trying to refer to there. We're gonna get that 3 more times. Increasingly, I will not quite understand the point of just showing that to us over and over and over again. Can I? I can't make that jump, can I? No. It doesn't matter too much if we can't get them right away because you get the drill. Once you go down to one of the bridges, you can just hop around to get to the others. Okay, is that just going to be the way to go here? I think that's going to be the way to go. I'm going to have to shimmy across. Right. Throw a quick save down just in case. Can never be too sure of these things. Step back and do a little run, and we're good. We're good. Alright. And we'll just hover over here and let go as so. And I will now recall why I'm here at all. There was a point. What was the point? Oh, it was to get down there. I remember now. Okay, we're good. We'll do another quick save. And I'm going to go for a piss. I did the thing! I did the thing! Right, let's go. Ooh. Knocked the pop filter for a second then. We're all good. Another switch. That will give us a brand spanking new staircase. That's right, a brand spanking new staircase. Me if I was a game show host. You want a new car? I got you a stepladder. Let's not even. Just absolutely not putting up with that shit. Okay, cool. Push that down. That's that one there. So that's 3 out of 4. And you can imagine that this is gonna loop us back round to a little special area that we've been to before. Which means we have one left. Probably throw out a safe here. I have the urge to jump into the Lake of Death. I'm not gonna do that. I want to. I don't think that's preferable yet. Okay. Oh, I've gone down too far. Okay, that's fine. Climb up. I've this weird feeling that I'm meant to be doing something else, or is going somewhere else. Ah, no, we're good. Okay, cool. So we'll get that. Maybe the bridge is the key to my madness. Ooh. Should probably throw down a save just to prevent any scariness. What's over here? Nothing? Nothing over there? Okay. Right. So, I assume that the way to go forward is over here. Oh, that looks so reachable. It's definitely not, but and we've done this room. Oh boy, I want to give it a go. I want to. It's 110%. It's not within reach, but you know what? I'm just gonna shut my little mouth and good. We good? I think. What? Guys, what just happened? Around this side? Yep, it's here. And you never activated, right? This is the way we're gonna go back. I know that much. Oh, well, we don't actually have to do that at all. We can just jump down into it because. Okay, that's the level done. Fine. What are you? Why were you acting up? And also, why can I go back through here anyway? Is this just another thing for like secrets? Like if I. Okay, so you only activate from one place. That's cool. Fine. That's so weird. Okay. Right. Let's not do anything stupid. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Here we go. We need to be quick. Because I'm pretty sure we'll run out of air if we, stick around for too long here. But I do want that ammo. Go, 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 go. Why does it look like she swims faster when there's a surface underneath her? Like when she's right up against it. I think she starts to drown, but she doesn't die if her health runs out. It's fine. Just go. I think we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. There's 2 of you, isn't there? Or is it just the 1? That's fine. I'm gonna go back down here and grab this. We're right at the end of the level. Oh, that was a journey. I've got a bunch of pickups. Isn't that grand? Right, where are you? Are you there? Are you gonna stay there? Magnum boys. Kaboom. Okay. Just in case. You never know these things. And of course, if you thought that 1,206 Magnum ammo was enough, you were wrong. You were really wrong. More Magnum ammo, please. Okay, and you should figure out what we're going to do at this point. Actually, I don't know if I pointed that out. I might not have. There's another mummy down here, by the way. We're gonna hop. over here and whip out the pistols. I don't think I have to kill this one. I want to. It just becomes personal after a while. You know, you encounter enough of them and you feel this sickly urge to murder them for everything they've done to you. Wait, where did I come from? I came from over there. Oh, yeah, okay. I was being a big old dum-dum. Actually, I don't think I was. I think there might be something else down here. Really? You throw me in with the death monster and you give me like a health pack at an easy to reach place? I'll take it. I'll take it. We'll move on. We're nearly out of here. It's this room again. Oh my god. The one time it would have been acceptable to have like a full slide down and the game's like, nope, can't do that. Cannot do that one bit. We're all the way back here. Isn't that grand? It's doing the thing again where it's like, oh yeah, it's associating you doing this with like, oh, the door's gonna unlock any second now. Isn't that great? It's like, I understand. You don't have to do that again. No one's forcing you to. It's all good. Wouldn't it be funny if just like 50 mummies came running out of that now? Right, one more level in Le Egypt. I am very quickly going to pull these out and do a save because we have entered full-on danger territory going forwards. The game will throw nothing but magnum ammo at us for a long-ass amount of time. And that's largely because the game's not afraid to bombard us now with enemies. So that's also going to be very enjoyable to witness, I'm sure. And this is why I had like over 100 saves on my last playthrough. Because all we have to do is walk out here, and look, here it is! Yeah, so for some reason on the staircase here, it works on another one later on. If you start walking backwards while shooting, you have to be aimed, that's the important thing. But if you start walking backwards while shooting, the enemies charging at you just like enter like dance mode and they can't really figure out what's happening. They don't understand why you're doing what you're doing. So that's fun. It's a nice easy way to get rid of them anyway. But yeah. We are going to have a lot of magnum ammo thrown at us going forwards. And we will accept it. How do I want to approach this? How do I want to approach this? Not like that, but here we are. Okay, there is going to be one spooky mummy here. It's going to introduce us to the flying boys as well. Oh, and these guys shoot you now. So that's the other thing. I think there's two of them. There's one on this side and there's one over there. There's also a gizmo thing, not gizmo thing, but like a pickup around there. There's one here too. This is good. Deal with that in a second. I just want to clear out the area first. I want to know that the area needs clearing out as well. This is another level that I quite like. I like traversing this big boy here. Oh, this is the one where I said that the model does not match. Watch this. Also just atmospherically. That's so much more imposing than that. Like, that I could believe is somewhat, not alienish, but like, not quite human, whereas that is, I don't know. This is another section where I cannot promise I'm going to get all of the secrets, simply because this is a big one. This is a big one, and if we can get through this fairly unscathed, that's what I want to do. I think if I revise my statement, this is a great level in moderation. I think that's probably a better way to say it. Okay. Everything really is just momentum based in this game. Right. Again, like, what? It's the idea that, like, yes, they're introducing, like, they want to give the players a reason as to why there's light coming through. I don't need it. You don't have to explain. Look, it's dark. I get it. I prefer the Abyss to the alternative, which is everything is apparently close to ground level. Like, we're not descending down according to the remaster. We're just like we're walking around a very big mountain. Right. So we've got a number of switches that we need to pull in this in order to open a few doors. There we go. That's door number 1. Let's save here quickly. Once again, I'll try to get the things that I know that are at the very least reachable. But no promises as to whether or not. It begins. Wow, you beeline. That's kind of insane. Normally, this one here takes a good 5 minutes to get out the door that it spawned from. So that was impressive. Well done, little boy. As I am now calling you. Okay. So that's that one done. Next one's over here. I think this entire section benefits from just, I mean, obviously it benefits from knowing what you're doing in advance, but there's a lot of just running back and forth. Not running back and forth, that's not it. There is a lot of just running. There we go. Which way do I want to go? It all benefits in the long run. There's lots of pickups about the place. Once again, I doubt that I'm going to be able to get all of them, but I shall try. And then hit. And part of me is concerned that I'm accidentally just doing the level normally, but if that is the case, then so be it. I have a feeling... Oh, I'm doing it both ways. There are multiple ways to reach this place. That's fine. We chose the long but safe way. Oh, that never happened. And then we walk back. You can see some stuff down there as well that we'll pick up in a moment. So that's down there. Okay, wow, you are on point this time. These guys are normally quite bugged, even in the remastered version. It's actually kind of mental to see them function, you know? For context, the way that they have to get... The way that they are designed in the Atlantis levels for them to function properly at all is they give them one giant massive column of a room, and that's it. So the idea is that there's absolutely no collision detection. We can get the Uzi whilst we're here. I think I'm I'm just gonna go for... I'm just gonna go for it. Ugh. Now, as you might imagine, as you can imagine, that little Uzi is a bit of a pain. Because it's on an invisible platform. One of the only invisible platforms in the game. I do not understand. But that's fine. What matters is, we got him. Along with some Uzi ammo. Right. And because we are on this platform, we are going to save. Ooh. We made it. Awesome. See, that's what they normally... Oh, there's two of them now. Fascinating. Why? And they stopped? Did they despawn? Are we... You can see why they dish out the Magnum ammo at this point. Okay, so that's one, but there were two of you. Unless your model was just glitching out, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, I think I know where I need to go next. I'm saving because I don't like... I don't like this. I don't like jumping down so far and then finding out that I need to go all the way back up. Okay, yep, I understood that was there. Is... Mm. You can do that if you want. Okay, cool. It's up there. Okay. I need to reload to save them. Thank God I did. Yeah, so you hop across. I got you. I understand. That's all good. Um, I'm sorry. Was that another one as well? No, it was not. Okay. I think I'm getting like... I don't know how else to describe it other than like immediate PTSD. Like just off the cuff right now. PTSD from seconds ago. I'm not, but you can you can see where I'm going with that. Okay. Hop. It's right. I can't remember how high up it is. Is it here? Is it here? Is it up here? Is it close by? And then we do that. Okay, awesome. Whew. I still stand by what I said when I said that this is like one of the simpler levels. Okay. I need to go around now, don't I? Because I can use this as a platform. Very smart. Mm. Yep. The boss that was in like the last selection of levels is this guy. Except this guy can rope now, and he has like grenade launchers for fists. He has about as much health. So with a bit of luck, he's already nearly dead. There we go. Never have to deal with that fucker again. That's awesome. Right. Now what we have to do is get up on the back of the Sphinx. Very good, yes. I remember having a save point where I like... It was right before I killed that thing, and I just dived off the edge here. I was like, no! What, why? Why you make sound so? Ooh! Again, that's why we save. That's why we save. Okay. Oh, it turns out I forgot to mention this. It turns out that we do that I do get achievements, which is pretty fun. It's just that I don't get notified about them. So one of the achievements that I remember anyway is that if you do this and then you do that, apparently That counts as petting the head of the Sphinx. Don't ask me, it just is. Hang on. Cool. Let's not slide off to our deaths. No! I thought I saved. I thought I saved after this. I thought I did. I thought I saved after this so I wouldn't repeat this. The curse that happened last time. No! I'm forever cursed to be in this room with this fucker. And yep. Let's take this quickly. It's always like one in every so often. With there being like a weird batshit thing that happens in this game. I feel like. I know that wasn't the game's fault, that was entirely my fault. But I'm just referring to like some of like the technical stuff that we've been through so far. Walking and running and jumping and stuff like that. I think it's quite commonplace for most people in this game to be spamming the jump button quite frequently, and that's just because I think that's just an animation thing, because they make the animation for Lara so specific throughout the course of this game that it did. Okay, am I missing something? I might be missing something. This level has gone by relatively smoothly, which has thrown me off a little bit. So I do wonder what's happening. Because the door did not open. It showed me the door. Well, is there two switches? Is that the thing? Is that the issue? I feel like there were only two of those things to go through, right? Is the door gonna open when I approach it? Is that it? No. Oh! I'm a dum-dum. There's two of them. We opened two doors, didn't we? At least I think we did. Is the other door around here? Yes. Okay, we're good. We're good. Whew. There's a switch on the front and there's a switch on the back. I assume that we were close to finishing the level. We are not. I mean we are now, but that's a different matter. This is fine. Oh god. Okay, I remember this room. Cool. Okay. This is a dangerous room. I'm still gonna navigate it because I need to. Because that's how we beat the game. Okay. Right. First, we save. And we do this, and then we pull back, and nope. You can see what we sort of have to do here. We have to grab onto the ledge. It's not incredibly responsive when you're on slopes. Yeah, because she does that. But that's what we have to do. Because normally as you're falling off the ledge, she will like turn around just before she lands. Let's see if we can do this. This is gonna be a little risky. Oh yeah. We nab this. And we can go up here. The way forwards. Speaking of the way forwards, let's save because... yeah. Okay. I think this here... yeah, slope and jump. Slope and jump, but you need key? Oh, is the key down here? It is. Okay, that's fine. That's we'll call that a visual puzzle, and we won't call it what it actually is, which is minor padding. The equivalent of going into like a room and being like, in order to escape from this place, you must find the key, and the key's just on the bed, and it's like, okay, that's it. That's the whole puzzle. The second centaur has hit you later. We did it! Yay! Cool. We can get out of this place now, and we can finish Egypt. Bizarre. Wee. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah. I don't think we're entirely done with this level. I have visions of like an underwater section at the end. And I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. I'm either imagining... I don't think it's this one. I'm thinking about the entrance to Atlantis. Or at least I hope that's what I'm thinking of. And if we hop up here... Don't do it. Just, nope, come on. All you have to do is, there we go. Good. There we go. It's at this point when I save again, because we're quite the ways up. And I don't want to die. No, 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 no. If we slide down the back at the very least, we should be fine. No, that's okay. Sure. There are certain sections in this game where there are fixed camera angles, and they do confuse me. Is this? Oh, okay. Ah, boy. Okay, this isn't that bad actually. There are words. Okay, so here's what we have to do. There is I think this might be just the way out, but there is a lever right here. We right, so that's the way we need to go. There is definitely like a proper full-blown. I might have to switch the graphics up. I don't know how much better that's going to be. Okay, this is fine. There it is. Is that it? Nope. Okay. Well, I tried. We definitely can't pull that lever. I don't think we can anyway. Nope. Right. I recall there being a lever, like, somewhere. A lever. I'm holding it down. There we go. Whoa. Okay, I'm... It is so bizarre because the lighting in the original is better, but it's so incremental. Oh. Okay, hang on. Right. Secondary toilet break over. Secondary. I don't know how many I've had. It had something weird, probably. It's all good. Right, I know what I'm doing. I think I do. I know that whatever I need to do is something between these legs. I remember that, but I thought there was a lever right here. Is there not? Oh, you bugger. Okay. It's yet and this is one of two like levers slash switches that have just not had a great texture for, if that makes sense. Like they didn't replace the texture entirely. What are we doing? Climb up here. I know the idea is that we are draining some of the lake that we've fallen into. Angle that correctly and go. There we go. And go up here. And then wander around. And with bit of luck, there should be a switch nearby. Oh no, there isn't. I know where we are now. This is fine. Hello. I'm going to nab one of these and then do a little save, because I don't trust that. Of course, I have to be right in my face when that happened. Okay, oh, that's a bit of a drop. How am I meant to traverse any of this? Oh, I see. Okay. Just couldn't see that little bit down there. We need to make our way down to the legs again. It's hmm. There's that thing there, but I don't entirely trust that. Can I just jump into the water? No, I can't. There is no viable way of doing that. I'm gonna save before I do something really stupid. I can hop on. Oh my god! My life, my life flashed before my eyes. Okay, so this should open up the little thing down below. On the left side, which will inevitably open up the one on the right side, I guess. Hmm. You just know they're gonna throw one at you. Because they have done before, and they'll do it again. Gosh darn it. I feel like I should be packing the shotgun at this point, but the shotgun is needed for something else later on. We can make do, we've got enough health kits to get by whatever this throws at us. This is a little insane. I don't remember the path up being this windy. You gonna do it yet? Oh my god, yes you are! Okay, run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Nope. I have to do that all again. That was such a long way back up. Okay, this is fine. Let's see if we can do a running jump. Nope. I like that I was already going to hit the ground, and the game still auto-corrected and went, no, but you really hit the ground. Come on, we can angle this correctly. Is that something down there? No, it's just bubbles. Okay. Oh, boy. Why does it look like that's gone back up? Woo! It is satisfying to pull off those tricks. Or at least I find it satisfying to pull off those tricks. Something very, I don't know, rewarding about doing stuff like that. I kind of wish there was like a way to just... when we get to anniversary, it's really addictive just to keep tapping that dodge button. Because it's the acrobatics button. Meh. Meh. Oh boy. It's impressive to have this entire level designed the way it is. Because it just comes across as like... It's literally coming back around on itself. The interconnectivity is decent. It's simple. That's the thing. Okay. Let's position ourselves correctly. Throw down a save so we don't have to do that all again. We got the magnums. We do. Okay, go. This is fine. We've got so many medkits. It's insane. Whoa. Jesus Christ. Right, that's another one down. What the hell was that sound? The other one didn't explode. Is it stuck in a wall? It was. We never get a section of the game like this again, by the way. Yeah, there's never a bit of the game ever again that throws that many enemies at us at once. And I don't know why that's the specific area it decides to do that, or why that's the selection of enemies it decides to do that with. But it is, alas. Okay, not quite done yet.
I still got a pain in my brain from you. It's got me funny ideas. I'd like to shoot you to hell.
There we go. And with him dead, we can pick up the last piece of the Scion. I assume it's called the Scion and not the Scion, but I could be wrong. Hope I'm not. Pick it up! Oh, I forgot that we get introduced to the cavalry at this point.
You just pulled the duff end of a wishbone. Howdy.
Afternoon. Left Larson sucking wind then, eh? If that is the phrase. Well, your little vacation riot's over now. Time to give back what you've hijacked off me.
Let's try the lunchbox.
Well, Let's go.
Holy moly. What a twist the room. Ah.
What the heck was that?
What?
That away.
Oh,
Probably just a fish.
That'd be some fish, kid.
Man, you have got to learn to chill. I'm going back inside. You coming?
I'll talk about those guys in a bit, because the backwoods baseball cap guy,
We ready yet?
his inclusion in this game baffles me. The idea is that you've got, so Natla's hiring like a bunch of mercenaries, bounty hunters, and treasure hunters, and all this sort of stuff to sort of help her out with her goal.